Alright, I'm back on YouTube with a painting video this time. Most of my newer videos have been hunting videos, but maybe a lot of my subscribers don't know that what I'm doing most of the time is painting here in this studio. So I've got a short little clip I'm going to share with you here about the making of this painting. It's called Winter's Embrace, and this is only about 5 minutes of a full tutorial that you'll find on my Patreon page, which is a full 35-minute long tutorial video on everything going behind the scenes about making this painting. But I just wanted to give you a little short clip of it to give you an idea of what you might find over there. There's a lot of people giving out free advice, and I don't mind giving out a little bit of free advice, but I like to get paid for what I do, just like you do too, probably. So I'd really appreciate it if you went over there and helped me out. But anyway, I'll give you a short, free little clip of what you're gonna see here right now, coming up. Yeah, let's get to it. Here's a short little clip on painting Winter's Embrace. All right, let's start out with the colors. We got ourselves some titanium white, cadmium lemon, yellow ochre, cadmium red light, ultramarine blue, burnt umber, some trans red oxide, and some cobalt teal, and tucked back in there is some quinacridone magenta too. These are all oil paints by Blue Ridge Oil Colors. And then this is not Chipotle Pesto. This is some Liquid Original. I like to put this stuff in a jar like this with a lid, and it keeps it from drying out and getting that annoying film on it. I used to put it just straight on the palette, and then I'd waste a bunch of liquid because it would always dry up on me. So we're gonna start out sketching out this composition. I didn't tone this thing first. Normally I'd tone this with a burnt umber or burnt sienna and then really rub that back to kind of just have a thin wash there. But I wanted to get straight into this one, and I actually wanted to use the white canvas as something to kind of scratch back to in certain areas. You'll see that later in the video. But I'm just sketching this out pretty much with like a dry brush style technique and a tiny bit of liquid with the burnt umber to start with here. So we're going to start out with the sky, dipping into the titanium white. I got some Kremnitz white in there too. These are all from Blue Ridge. Go with some ultramarine blue in there, some burnt umber to desaturate, and then just a corner of that liquid. Definitely not using a ton of medium in any of this mix here. And then I just want to start out by doing these vertical strokes and letting the paint sort of dry out on the brush and have these sort of random marks that are almost that checkerboard pattern. I want some texture, some like vibration going on in the sky. It's something I see by a lot of artists that I admire from the past and the present. Edgar Payne is one of them, where they, they'll leave some gaps in their brushwork. They don't blend everything out. Working on that middle portion of the sky, got some yellow ochre and that trans red oxide moving into that titanium and Kremnitz white, and kind of dragging some of that blue portion of the sky mix down into this to create that desaturated orange color. And I'll fill in some of those dry gaps left over from the blue to fade into sort of that greenish area of the sky. Knock in some of these negative spaces here around the trees. A little more white, a little more yellow ochre to brighten up that highlight of the sun area, tracing around that drawing of the tree. Still going with that same stroke direction, now going into those gaps that I left in that blue, trying to create sort of a vibration. I don't know what else you could call it, just something that's not so blended out, and I think it creates a little more interesting look. And in this particular painting, I think it makes it feel a little colder. Right now I'm getting into a little bit of that cadmium red, ultramarine blue, burnt umber, some yellow ochre, creating those furthest away background trees. They're going to be a real muted pink, almost a violet-y pink. I find in just about every painting, and I found it again in this one. I can never seem to learn, but you can see probably right there, I brought the value up just a little bit more from those first strokes I put down. Dragging a little more white into that original mix. I just, sometimes, and I make the same mistakes over and over again, and try not to, but I keep coming back to it. You can never, for me, it's easier to go darker in value in the background later on than it is to go lighter in value. So I like to try to start out as light as I can for those background values and then build up my darks later on. Going the other way is just never seems to work out as well. You saw me mixing for the under part of these trees, a little bit of that ultramarine blue, burnt umber, some of that trans red oxide, just trying to create a grayish blue for the shadow portions underneath of those background trees. Let's get into the snowy shadow parts of that main tree now. Creating another sort of blue-gray, getting into that ultramarine blue, titanium white, burnt umber, some of that trans red oxide, or maybe substitute that for the quinacridone magenta in there, create some sort of a blue, violety gray. What I'm trying to do with this brush is load it up with enough paint that I can make a nice distinct mark that's got a square edge quality to it, nice and straight, and then try not to go back over it too many times and overblend it. I want things to have a painterly look to them and not look like I've been sitting there fiddling with it for hours. Alright, I wish I could show you more, but if you want to see the rest of it, gotta go to my Patreon. I'm starting to build up a little bit of a growing community over there, and if you join, you'll have access to a private Facebook page, meet other artists, and yeah, just meant to be fun, but also it's meant to teach you something. So if you're into either one of those things, if you want to get to know a artist community and share common interests with other people and also learn how to paint, or if you just want to support me and follow along my journey of creating more paintings in the studio, you can do that too. It'd be great to see you in there. If not, hey, I'll keep putting out little shorts like this of things that you could find in there in the future. But I don't think I'm not gonna show all my cards here on YouTube. But I want to show you a little bit. And hey, give this video a like too, and subscribe here to see more of this. I'm gonna have more hunting videos coming out too. That's something you're gonna see on this YouTube channel. I know there's a lot of people in the art world, hunting world, you know, there's a lot of mindsets there that don't necessarily agree with each other. And you know what? All I gotta say about that is, if you don't wanna see hunting videos, don't watch them. And that's part of my life, and it's not gonna change. So, yeah, that's gonna be on here, more of those, and more painting videos too. So if you're into that too, hunting stuff, outdoor stuff, I wanna do some plein air videos, get outside, do some on location painting. You might find some of those videos down below that I've done before, but I wanna get out and start doing some more of that. But yeah, this is who I am, this is the stuff I'm into. So if you're into that same stuff, I hope you stick around. If you want to see some more painting stuff, head on over to that Patreon. You'll get more in-depth stuff over there. So, all right, I've rambled on enough. I could sit here and ramble on all day. Just want to get this out there, share a little bit of what I got going on right now. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.